and he just did the impression.
How's work and being a mum?
I mean, it's carnage. Everything is just a little bit harder.
I remember Roman, though, came round to see baby Ruby.
Yes, he
and
did.
I asked him that night, I went, oh, how was she? Well, I mean, she looks like a baby.
Have you heard about this telepathy tapes? They're normal families, they're teachers, all reporting the same thing, that when they've been around the child who is non-verbal autistic, they've noticed that they do have other ways to communicate. And one of the things they look at is telepathy.
Welcome to Binge. I'm Harry Judd.
And I'm Alex Jones. Today we are joined by a lovely guest. She's host of Capital Breakfast, and this morning it's Sian Welby.
Yes, some great recommendations from Sian coming up, particularly this comedy that I completely forgot about.
She also talks about a book that wouldn't be my normal cup of tea, Confessions of a Hitman, but I think we're all tempted now by it.
But first, let's play a round of our new game, Delete, Download or Devour. Think Snog, Marry, Avoid, but for Binge. So, producer James has given us a subject with 3 options. We have to decide on whether you devour one forever, you download one for a day, or delete it from history forever. So today's category, Al, is 90s TV shows.
Oh, come on, play along as you listen. Okay, so I'm going to give you the 3. You decide first.
Okay.
Friends,
Yep.
The Simpsons, or Frasier.
Okay, that's quite easy for me. I'm going to devour Friends, I'm going to download The Simpsons, and I'm going to delete Frasier.
Wow, you didn't even think about it.
Didn't need to think about that. Frasier, I don't know. I think the time that was out was a bit beyond me, the comedy. I didn't really get it at my age.
I've never really watched an episode. It's always kind of just on,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it was always just on. It's like, oh, Frasier's on. No.
It's on. Also, I never know if it's Frasier
Or
Frasier.
Or just Fraser.
Or Fraser.
Frasier.
Frasier.
Well, I'm guessing
the
you're...
more you say it, the more it loses all meaning.
I'm guessing you're going to delete that too.
I'm going to delete Frasier and The Simpsons.
Come
And
off
I'm going
it.
to devour Friends.
You can't delete The Simpsons.
I hate The Simpsons.
I've never heard that sentence in my life.
Oh,
How can you hate The Simpsons?
what's his name?
Homer?
I hate him.
How can you hate The Simpsons? Have you... I bet this is just typical you. I bet you've barely ever watched
No,
it.
do you know what? It's because Charlie keeps putting it on, right? So he's the antithesis of me. He absolutely loves it.
It's brilliant.
And he's now started showing it to Ted, and it's just not suitable.
No, it's probably not.
It sends me into a spin every time I walk into the room and bloody Simpsons is on.
I love it.
No.
Okay, have you ever watched Family Guy?
Oh, that is even worse.
Al, it's even better.
Charlie will sit and watch Family Guy late at night.
Yeah, do you know what? I used to do that. I mean, in the band house, early days, we used to just sit and watch Family Guy late into the night.
It's a cartoon.
It's
He's
so
45.
It's so good, Al.
I get it.
Guys,
right?
come on. Who here's watched Family Guy? Yeah? Thumbs
Yeah.
up, right? American Dad, amazing.
No.
South Park, arguably
South
the
Park,
best of them all.
That man with a bloody anorak on. Awful.
Oh my
So
God.
I would devour Friends. I'm sorry, Simpsons is deleted.
I can't imagine anyone
And
is going to agree with you.
Frasier, I'd rather do actually download Frasier because it might be good.
Really? Well, there you go.
All right, let's get Sian in then. Joining us now is the voice that wakes up the nation on Capital Breakfast and lights up our screens on This Morning. She is balancing a hectic job with life as a new mum to little Ruby. So how does she find the time to read a book or squeeze in a binge watch? Let's ask her, shall we? It's Sian Welby. Hi, Sian.
Hi, guys. What a treat to be with you two today.
Well, first of all, congratulations on baby Ruby.
Thank you.
How old's baby Ruby?
She's coming up to 11 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
You're first?
First.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the dream.
Yeah. Well,
Just leave it there.
That's
just
what
stop.
everyone said.
Just stop.
No, don't listen to us. We're jaded. I remember Roman, though, came round to see baby Ruby.
Yes, he
and
did.
I asked him that night, I went, oh, how was she? Well, I mean, she Looks like a baby.
He apparently, when he got home, he did an impression of. So his other half said, "Roman, what was Ruby like?" And he just went, and he just did the impression. I was like, "Great, good." He's like having a brother. Honestly, he was like, "Oh, she doesn't do much, does she?" I mean, he met her at like a few weeks old.
Yeah.
Oh.
I said, "Did you take something nice for Sian?" He went, "Yeah." I went, "What was it?" And he was like, I was like, Did he take something nice?
I don't remember him bringing
Right.
anything, but I might be remembering. Saying that though, he did offer me the gift of sleep, which I will come back to, because he said he didn't know what to buy me.
Oh, no, I remember this conversation now.
I think he asked you about it, didn't he?
He did.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come back to that. So she's well.
Yeah.
How's work and being a mum?
I mean, it's carnage, isn't it? It's just
isn't it?
utter carnage. I don't think the world is prepared or set up for girls going back to work. And so everything is just a little bit harder. And you try and sort of keep up with your old life and your old mentality. But I was such a yes woman, and I would be so spontaneous. And I cut off holidays midway to do a job and things like that. And now I suppose it's good to actually have a bit more of a boundary, but now I'm a bit like, okay, I really can't just make this decision like this, or I can't just at the drop of a hat now just do that. And because it's not fair, but also because I don't want to. I love coming home to Ruby. I love that side of my life where I can finish doing my job and spend the afternoon being a mum and doing really simple stuff.
That'll pass.
Yeah. I know you two are like.
I'm joking.
No, it's lovely. It is lovely.
Have you had a moment yet where you think, oh my God, I just want to stop it all and move away to the countryside? And
oh, you have that all the time, don't you?
I do.
You're like, what are you doing? I'm thinking, how am I doing this in central London? This is mental behaviour. Yeah, and especially when, I don't know, when there's one too many jobs to squeeze in a day and then you're coming home. And it's like when something goes wrong, whether they're ill or they're up all night and you question your sanity.
Well, and it's really hard for you if Ruby has an unsettled night because obviously you're getting up at the crack of dawn.
Honestly.
What is your routine in the morning?
I mean, last night was one of those nights where she's teething. So she's like, the thing is, she's actually not a massive crier, but she's just noisy. So last night, at literally 1 a.m, I could hear this, and then hiya, because she's learned how to say hiya. She goes hiya, but she's just saying it on repeat. So then it becomes like a haunting, imagine a creepy possessed doll going hiya, hiya, hiya. And I was like, oh my God. I started filming it thinking, well, I'm going to have to play this on the radio because at least it's content and I'm not just tired for no reason. But yeah, so my routine is I practically go to bed when she does. She's in bed for 7. I'm in bed for 8:30.
amazing.
Which is, but pathetic as
I
well.
was in bed at 8:30 last night.
Were you actually?
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Hang on, you don't do a breakfast show.
I know, but 8:30 is the way forward.
Isn't it?
So good.
Oh, it's great.
I'm not even home at 8:30.
So I've been doing a bit of breakfast radio myself.
You have?
And my co-host, Harriet Scott,
Who I love.
yeah, she's great. So she says the most annoying thing when she's out and about and she's meeting new people and she'll say, oh, well, I'm a breakfast host on Magic. They'll say, oh my God, what time do you get up in the morning? She's like, it's the most annoying question, but it's the question we all want to ask. What time do you get up in the morning?
Well, it is this morning, it was just before 4 o'clock because Ruby had woke me up and I had that horrible moment of going, right, that's it. No point going back to bed then.
Yeah.
Great. That horrible moment where you can't even snooze. But normally it is around 4:15.
And then you're on air at
6.
6. Whew.
So we sort of we get in for about 5:15, briefing, sort of go over what we're going to talk about roughly and some of the things that we've prepped from the day before. And as you know, I mean, you've been on loads of times, it goes out the window and you have guests and it overruns and whatever. And same with you, Alex, you'll know. Yeah. You try and have a structure, but it's a lot of it is just improvised and funny.
Yeah.
And so how different is it with, and I mean, obviously we can't compare because that's like picking children, but how different is it, since Roman's gone and Jordan's started? Is the dynamic really different? Because obviously you become so close as a team.
Yeah.
And it must be really weird when one person leaves.
It is in a way, but I think there was such a good handover between the two of them. Sometimes when, I don't know, either it could be bandmate come in and out or whatever. When something chops and changes suddenly with no control, it's a horrible feeling. And I've had that happen before. this was so like, there was so much run up. I knew Roman was leaving long before he did, and we spoke about stuff. He was really happy that it was Jordan coming in. He gave Jordan a lovely sort of handover, and like, so that made it nice, which meant the listeners felt very in on it, rather than like the rug pulled and who's this new presenter. It was like, oh, okay, we knew that this guy was coming in, and Roman's off to do his stuff that he wants to do, and the dynamic is just, it's again like having another brother. It's just a different type of brother. I can't explain it. Me and Roman we had a lot of similar references in terms of films we watched and all that kind of geeky stuff there. But we were also very aggy with each other, and it was all very, very like, how far can we push the banter until one of us might be offended, which is quite a funny place to be. Whereas Jordan's like a Labrador puppy, and it's more like, you know, he can take it so well as well. This is the other good thing. No one takes himself seriously. So Jordan equally is so much fun to work with because he just doesn't take himself seriously. But you just get more guilt when you've maybe pushed it too far because you think, oh, it is like kicking a puppy. You think, oh, no. Whereas Roman could take it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, but you're also brilliant, Sian, on This Morning.
Oh, thanks.
And I remember you doing your first one, and I was watching at home, and I thought, go on, be brilliant. Because like, I'd met you a couple of times, and I thought, she is so fantastic. And you were excellent. And now you do it all the time.
Well, whenever I can, because obviously it's like, it is just finding a juggle to fit it in, and obviously it's like a dream job and massive job, and I never take it for granted that I even get asked, let alone get to do it. And so yeah, but it's so cool. It's like, you know, everyone's got something in their mind that they always wanted to do, and be on This Morning, even if it was just a segment or whatever, I always wanted to be on it.
Because you were on it before you were hosting, weren't you? You were doing the like showbiz and stuff.
Yeah, showbiz bits and maybe competitions or whatever. I literally said to them at the start when I practically begged to get on This Morning. I was like, I spoke to two of the brilliant producers. I had a meeting with them and they were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, anything. I was like, send me to Skegness at 5 a.m. I just really want to be on this show. And I was genuine about it. I said, nothing, I don't take myself seriously. I was like, nothing's too small a job or whatever. I was like, I just would love to be part of this gang.
That's where I'm going wrong. I don't want to go to Skegness at 5 a.m. I don't want to
boundaries.
I don't want to go anywhere at 5 a.m.
No.
Nothing wrong with Skegness, but
But see, you stuck at it.
Yeah.
And now you're on the sofa.
Well, I mean, that in itself is just mad. It still blows my mind. But yeah, I think it was just, they knew I was being genuine, and I genuinely was like up for doing the hard work and sort of proving myself a bit. Because I get that in every job you have to sort of prove who you are and what you can do.
And sometimes in This Morning, you know, I guess a bit like the one show, there is moments where you have like politicians on, and you have to know your stuff. There's some like eggy moments, right? So you can't just go on there and wing it like we do. Do you know what I mean?
For yourself.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that is so true. And actually, serious stuff is my weakness because a lot of the things I do are
it's like, oh God, there's a politician coming on.
Yeah, anything like that. Like if it's puppies or if it's something sweet happening, some bake sale, lovely, all over that. Yeah. When it's like serious and politics, I'm not clued up on politics particularly, and I'm not a specialist in any subject. So that's when, especially like on This Morning, you're so grateful to have like a co-host. Dermot steps in and I'm like, yes, okay, Dermot knows all this.
You just look at him and nod and go, quite exactly what I was thinking.
I was going to say the same thing, Dermot. yeah, I do a lot of nodding, yes.
But it's true, though. I mean, you know, I'm the same. I don't know enough about politics to feel confident. And sometimes when we have the Prime Minister on, I think, oh my gosh, here we go now. And those are the only shows where I feel slightly nervous.
Yeah.
Because so much is at stake.
Difficult to be live. Time. Too right.
Okay, because you do the breakfast radio, you do This Morning now and again, you've got Ruby. It's tricky, right, to find time for yourself, to watch stuff, to listen to stuff. Have you had time recently? What have you enjoyed? And if your time is limited, as I'm sure it is, what do you go to?
Yeah, such a good question. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I was looking at like coming on the podcast, and I thought, what book have I read in the last 20 years? It probably was Smash Hits magazine, if I'm being honest. No, So yeah, there's not a lot of time for reading. In fact, the only time I ever really read is on holiday, if I'm being honest.
Same.
Yeah, when I've got and I love that as well.
Yeah.
It's a real treat.
But I find that when I get home from holidays, it's happened recently, the first couple of nights back, I'm carrying on reading, and then before I know it, I'm like, yeah, gonna watch something.
Oh my goodness.
I jump on stuff like that so quick. I'm like, I'm a changed person.
I know.
Look at me reading before bed.
I'm like, Izzy, get off your phone. Honestly, I'm reading a book.
You've got the little light on. Yeah, it doesn't last, does it, long?
No.
Because life is just so mental. But there are times when I really try and put aside a bit of time to watch a series or something that I'm really into. And I love that. At the minute, I have like a golden hour of an hour.
Yeah.
She goes to bed at 7. I go to bed at 8:30. So I've got 7 till 8, give or take, where I just watch an episode of something. And that's my little window of like, yes. And if it's more like I just am doing stuff, I'll put on something really familiar. Like my go-to is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know if either of you have ever seen that.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's a comedy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Adam Sandberg.
Yeah, Andy Samberg, and it's based in like a New York police precinct. But it's one of those where you just love the characters from the get-go. And every episode's only about half an hour long.
It fits into that category for me of easy watch, funny, light-hearted, like you said, half an hour.
Easy, yeah. In the same way that people switch Friends on.
Yeah.
For me, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they've become my friends, and I'm very invested in all the characters, and I can happily just watch a few episodes.
Can you just go down, Vic? I want to see the characters again, because I watched it in ages, yeah.
Yes, you've got Peralta, Holt,
Yes.
Amy Santiago. They're all strong characters, which is quite rare.
Charles
to like them all.
Boyle's very good character, isn't he?
Charles Boyle's amazing. Terry Crews is in it as Terry.
Yeah.
I love that he's got the same name and he basically plays Terry Crews. But it's just such a wonderful script. It's so sharp. Andy Samberg must be either producer or writer on a lot of them, I think. And yeah, it's my go-to happy place. I can whack that on and watch a few back to back and almost, it's bad, isn't it? Because they're almost those shows where you do look at 10 other screens.
But if it doesn't require too much thinking, that is sometimes a good thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Isn't it? So you can just properly unwind.
Yeah, I do. I don't have to overthink. I'm not having to keep up with a backstory. Yeah.
Because it says here you recently binge watched Severance, which is obviously completely other end of the spectrum. You have to really focus on that one.
And that one was annoying me because I would just settle in to watch that, and I'm not watching that with my other half, so we're very different in taste, right? So that was a daytime watch for me. So in the day nap that Ruby has, which is 1 till 3, if I wasn't working, that would be my Severance time.
Okay.
Because it's my time, because my other half doesn't like it and Ruby's asleep, and I would try and get it in. And if she woke up early from that nap and I was mid-episode.
You're mid-severance. You've severed.
I've severed.
You've
I've
severed
severed
for an
from
hour.
her.
From her, from life.
So it was.
Did your other half try it and then decide he didn't like it? Or from the get-go, did he think this doesn't look like my type of thing?
In his words, he'd be like, not for me. And he...
Did he even try it?
No, of course not. He's if anything's a little bit sci-fi, or he likes everything to be set... He's a Londoner, right? He likes everything to be set in London. He's very funny, even if it's like, is it a northern drama? Happy Valley, I'm not sure. I'm like, come on!
Very open-minded he sounds. Wow.
He just knows what he likes.
I get it, though. I don't like sci-fi stuff.
Alex will just bin something off based on the title.
On the picture.
She's like, no, don't like the title.
Yeah, I think I don't. I mean,
I
we
don't
tried
think
this.
you wouldn't listen to our podcast. You'd be like, Binge? No, I'm not listening to that.
Well, I was going to agree with you there, but no, I would. I'd absolutely see that and think, yes, that's for me. But Severance, I mean, we did try hard.
Severance
I
is a
got
slow
into it.
burn,
I got
Alex.
into it, but
It's a slow burn.
I felt ultimately, I got through the slow burn, and then I was like, I'm in. But I got to sort of midway through season 2, and I just think, it's just... I don't feel very cultured by saying this, but it was just a bit too slow. It was like, I found myself pressing that 10 button to just fast forward.
Oh, you can't do that.
It was just like, come on, just get to the point.
Well, controversially, and I haven't watched the new one, but I feel a bit like that about White Lotus, where I'm like, come on, get
You're right,
going.
Sean. It's so slow.
But you know,
because
I think
everyone
this,
raves about it, don't they?
But Sean, I'm worried that this is the effects of like TikTok.
I know,
because
it's
we're
bad.
flicking, we're getting instant dopamine hits, we're getting instant entertainment, and we're struggling, me, struggling with the slow build and
slower
the artistry of the shot and the imagery.
Yes,
And
I actually agree, and I think that's what made me stick with Severance. I was like, come on, like, because I
Be
know I like
patient.
things that are thought provoking, and I like Black Mirror and that kind of stuff. And it's very Black Mirror, Severance. It's very believable that this kind of thing could easily happen. You know that Elon Musk has already made these Neuralink chips. Like that's a real thing. It wouldn't be. We're not too far off something like this, where you go into work. And as you get into the lift, you're severed from your home life and you're in work mode. Well, most of us are in work mode and live 2 double lives as it is.
Yeah.
So it really got me thinking, and I loved Severance for that. But yeah, I think I had to sort of retrain myself to pay attention and.
Yeah. It is a good concept. There's no doubt in that. But it was a bit of a slow burn. But we did have one of the actors on the podcast, didn't we?
Oh,
we did,
amazing.
yeah.
And this was when everybody was talking about it. We had Zach on, and he said that you have to wait until episode 6 until it really kicks in of the first season.
Yeah, he
Totally
agreed.
agree.
He was like, yeah, it's quite slow.
The way I would describe it, and obviously everyone feels different about it, you're watching Severance feeling very frustrated that you feel like you've missed something every episode. You go, why am I not getting this? What are they all doing in this office? Because not only are we watching this thing of these people going into an office and they've severed from home, and you sort of understand that concept, but you don't know what they're doing in this office. And every episode gets weirder. And you're like, where's this going? I can see why so many would tap out of 5.
Well, it reminds me a bit of Lost.
I never watched Lost.
So Lost,
No.
very similar. They're on, there's the plane crash. They're on a desert island. It's really interesting. It's like, what's happening? And then it's a similar concept to what they do in the office at Severance, where they have to like get the numbers into order. There's a thing in Lost where they have to press this button every 24 hours or something. I can't remember, but you don't know why, and you get to the point where you're just like, do the writers even know? Like, are they just making this up?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. But yeah, with Severance, for me, when it kicked in, it was like the payoff you get in something like The Truman Show. You know, when he starts to realise, oh my God, this is a setup. I got that same adrenaline of going, oh, they're starting to work it all out. And I felt a bit more let in. And so 7, 8 and 9, I think it was, I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you're on the hype of the
It
show.
is, because it's so clever. You're so into it, and then suddenly they're severed again, and that version of them doesn't know what's happened.
Yeah.
Or they go back to it and they're like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
So-
maybe I need to get back on it.
I think you should, because I again, season 2 does that thing where you go, what's going on? And then the payoff is so good again.
Yeah, okay.
It's worth it.
Okay.
So you've watched all of season 2 as
Yes.
well?
Yeah.
So you're done?
I'm
Up
in,
to
I'm
date?
done, I'm up to date, and I'm so invested in the next one.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. You have got some good podcast recommendations.
Oh.
When do you listen? I mean, I'm guessing when you're walking Ruby, right?
Yeah, quite a lot of the time, if I'm on a walk or any little commute I'm on, I just quickly whack in an episode. I've always loved podcasts.
So you've got Wolf and Owl with Tom Davis and Ramesh.
Yes, just funny. Again, that's one where there's no concept particularly to it. Just 2 good mates telling stories. Both of them are such good storytellers. Their lives are so mad, 2 comedians, been friends a long time. And you end up hearing just the most brilliant stories, whether it was something that was happening on set, because that Tom Davis now is in lots of movies. He's in Wonka and things like that. And Ramesh, obviously, he does Lotus shows on Sky. And so you're just getting a real insight. And maybe because I love telly and I love hearing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ramesh is amazing. What I love about Tom Davis is like he's often just on the cusp of giggling. Like, I just love that about him. I find him
He's a nice boy. I
hilarious.
was having my nails done the other day and Tom walked past and I couldn't decide on which colour. And I said to myself in my head, if Tom walks past the other way again, I'll have a French manicure. And he walked past and I've got a French manicure.
I love that. Little does he know the
That's
impact he's
weird,
had in
isn't
your
it?
life.
Why French manicure?
I don't know, because I was between that and a red and I thought, well, how do I decide? And I thought, well, if Tom goes back the other way, I'll go for a French manicure. So that's what I did.
That's weird.
I love the thought that he doubled back for it, going, it's Alex Jones.
But also, I was then thinking, why has he gone back the other way? It was so weird.
But he did a double take seeing you in the nail salon,
And
surely.
I mean, if he comes on, I'll have to ask him, why did you go back up the road when he looked so purposeful when you were walking down the road in the first place? But there we are. That's how I've ended up with this nail, Tom.
I love that. It was Tom. But yeah, Tom Davis is from a really funny, like very working class background. And so he spent most of his life, he's got his success later in life. So a lot of his stories are so relatable and funny because they're from when he was a scaffolder or a labourer or whatever, all these jobs that he had. And some of the stories, it's worth, if you're going to get into that podcast, going back to like almost, I don't know if it's episode like 2, where he tells this story about I don't know how to say this, potpourri?
Yeah, Potpourri.
If you get him as a guest,
As in that stuff that smells in a bowl.
ask him to tell the potpourri story because it's one of the funniest things. Just to give you an idea of it.
Did he eat it? Because loads of people have done that thinking they're vegetable crisps.
He was trying to impress. He went round. He was quite young. He was at a girlfriend's house. He was trying to impress the family. It was quite posh. It's in the middle of the table, and he sees, and they're all having spaghetti bolognese, and he sees it and gets a spoon and scatters it over his spaghetti.
That's
crunches
amazing.
it. But that story escalates from there, and it
That's
ends up in
so
a
good.
downstairs toilet. The whole thing is just so
Oh
funny,
my
and that's
God.
what hooked me in. Normally, with a podcast, there's always that one episode that hooks me, and I'm like, I'm in now.
Brilliant. I've noticed here a book recommendation that I think I'd really like.
Oh, go on.
No, the one you've given
What, the
us.
Hitman one?
Yeah, the Hitman one.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's basically Confessions of a Real Life Hitman, which I read on holiday.
Nice.
And
Oh, that's a nice cheery holiday
yeah.
reach out.
I'll get that ready for my holiday in 2026.
I really struggle with books because I never know what I'm going to... a bit like committing to a series.
Yes.
I'm-
Book's even harder, isn't it? Because you're on holiday and
Yeah.
you're like, I'm 4 days into the
Yeah.
holiday, I'm not enjoying my
Well,
book.
and there's only one chance, isn't there?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's one chance to get it right, and I never know what I'm into. I'm like, am I into fiction, or would I rather it be fact? Or
Yeah.
and then normally a true story is the best read for me.
Yeah, but
because-
then sometimes you like get lost in a fiction and I know.
So I never really know what to go for. But this stuck out for me because I love anything that's like confessions of any sort of job that you don't know a lot about. And it is mad. This guy talks about all the very creative ways he got rid of people.
No way.
Yeah, which
That looks I'm not normally into this sort of thing, but that does look really good.
Okay, Sian, if you like that, you have to watch one of my top recommendations.
Confessions of a Call Girl. Is that what you were going to say?
No, Mr. In Between
what's that?
on, is it Disney Plus?
Disney Plus, yeah.
Yeah,
Mr.
so it's
In
about a hitman. It's
I would
so
love it.
good, an Aussie hitman.
Now,
It's-
I'm not sure you would love it.
No, you will.
I've
No,
also
you'll love
watched
it.
it.
Trust me.
What do you think of
She
it?
doesn't like anything I like. Honestly, I think you'll like it. If you like that book,
It was
you like
all right.
Severance. She doesn't like Severance. I like Severance. Trust
Okay,
me.
so
Don't
maybe
you?
we've got similar taste there. Okay,
We do,
fine.
we
I will
do.
go for
Maybe.
that.
Give it a go. I mean, he peddles Mr. In Between out nearly as much as Wicked.
Look, we're saying the same things about what books we read.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Okay.
Sian.
Okay,
Mr.
maybe you're right. Maybe you're on the same wavelength. Let's do your desert island picks then.
Yes.
We need a film, we need a podcast, or like an album and a book.
Well, I'm going to start with a movie that I just don't think I would get bored of, which is Wedding Crashers. Now, this shows my intellect or my cultured mind.
Sian, nothing wrong with that.
I'm just a big fan of this era of movie in 2000s when it was like the gang, Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson. You had Ben Stiller popping up in stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a great time for comedy. I just loved this era. Isla Fisher, Rachel McAdams, Christopher Walken popping up. I mean, what I love about this film is I do genuinely feel like it's one of those that has a great storyline. The scripting is good. The casting is good. You don't tend to get a lot of comedies like this anymore that's like a blockbuster film.
No.
Yeah, you're right. I've got a real soft spot for Owen Wilson. He's
Same.
so good,
Me
isn't he?
too, Marley and me. Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
That's my Owen Wilson impression. Wow.
That's quite
Wow.
good. But it could be also Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe they do the same face. Okay, so we've done film.
Yeah.
Are we going to do podcast or a music album?
A music. I like this calling it a music because I think you're right. Things are just a music. I think if I was stranded, well, the problem is if I get talking about this podcast that I've been watching, I'll go off on a long old tangent because it's too hard to explain.
Okay. Well, we could try.
Well, have you heard about this telepathy tapes?
Yes.
We have, yeah. We've had
Lots
another
of
guest
people-
recommend it.
Yeah, lots of people. I think we've had more than one guest
Really?
recommend it.
Okay.
Lots of people seem to like this.
I just think, do you know what I think will happen where you might end up bothering? She's recorded all of these tapes that she's made into a podcast. I think Netflix or Disney, somebody will buy this and make it like a documentary because it does feel on the cusp of being big. I think probably when you've had guests on, they've been quite ahead of like, because it only came out, I think either the start of this year or like December last year.
Remind us what it is, Sian.
Well, it's quite controversial talking about it because it sounds quite unbelievable. However, I would say from listening to it, I've got no reason not to believe any of these people. And I do. They're normal families, they're teachers, all reporting the same thing, that when they've been around, say if it's a teacher teaching or a parent with a child who is non-verbal autistic, they've noticed that they do have other ways to communicate. And one of the things they look at is telepathy. So obviously in a scientific world where things have to be proven and scientific experiments have to be done in such a way, they're up against trying to prove it. Despite teachers reporting about this for years and parents doing tests where, you know, they've videoed their child in one room, they're in another. They might be reading a book and the child can read exactly what they're looking at. And it sounds unbelievable, but when you hear enough normal people saying it and going, oh, you know, we thought it was just in our family, or we just thought it was us. And then we've got chatting to other families and it seems there's similar themes and they're saying the same stuff. I don't think it can be ignored, because I think, why would these people, what incentive do they have to lie or make it up?
It was Angela Scanlon that recommended this as well. She'd listened to it. That is not what I expected you to say.
No,
I don't think Angela explained that at all.
No, she didn't. That's not what I got from her explanation.
But it's fascinating. All I would say is maybe a bit like a lot of these things, it's like the more you stick with it, every episode, I sort of feel like I've learned a bit more and I'm going, wow. And I do feel genuinely like, okay, I presume they're going to have to start taking these claims seriously at some point, because too many people are saying the same thing.
And then, okay, let's do book then, because that's a good recommendation, listening-wise.
Yes, Dear Zoo, what a book.
Dear Zoo.
Yeah, it's a real gripping tale of...
Come on, Harry, Dear Zoo.
A gripping tale of a boy who writes to a zoo. And he wants a pet, but they send him a lion and he was too fierce, so they had to send him back.
And then they sent him an elephant, but he was too big, so they sent him back.
Then they send him a snake and he was too scary, so they sent him back. This is my
Keep
baby
going,
Ruby's
guys.
favourite
And in the end, they send him a puppy and he's
was
just perfect.
Oh,
And
I
they
need to
kept
get
him.
Dear Zoo for Lockie. I've missed Dear Zoo for all three of my kids.
What do you mean?
I know.
I'll bring it.
How
We've
old
got
is Lockie?
many.
3.
Perfect, because it's all like lift the flaps and all that kind of thing. And it's
lovely.
just, I mean, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Well, there we are.
Thanks, Sean. That was
guys.
lovely.
That was really lovely.
A real range of recommendations as well.
I realise that I think a psychologist will look at this and go, is she all right? Like, what on earth is she watching and listening to?
No, it's good. I mean, I think those are the best episodes, when we have a real sort of, you know, diverse range of stuff. Yeah.
Random.
All of us feel like different things at different times. I don't think we should be boxed.
No.
Too right. Thank you very much.
Don't
Yeah.
put people in a box.
Could you watch Mr. In Between and get back to me and tell me that I was right?
I will get
and
back to you
Alex was
personally.
wrong?
I
Thank you.
will, and I'll tell you if I enjoyed it. It sounds
Okay.
great.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. See what Sean says. Okay, thank you so much, Sean.
Loved it.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, guys.
An eclectic mix from Sean there.
Very eclectic, but some good recommendations. And I really steer clear of books like that, but Confessions of a Hitman, I think, sounds like a good read.
Right up my street. I'm just thinking, when am I next going on holiday?
Don't get any ideas, Harry.
Well, I'm going to France at the end of the summer.
No, I don't mean about holidays. I mean about killing people.
Oh. I thought you meant about reading a book.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's leave it there for today then. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to follow, rate and review. It does really help us and other bingies to find us.
Yeah, you can also watch us on YouTube. You can look up Binge Podcast Official and hit subscribe, please. Tell us what you think's worth watching, reading and listening to. You can email us. It's hello@bingepodcastofficial.com or WhatsApp us. The number is in the description.
Binge is a Viral Tribe entertainment production. Join us next time as we help you sort the binge-worthy from the
Binworthy.
bye-bye.